Here it is, basically 4 o'clock. We're gonna, I think today's the 17th. This ground, we're gonna hit it with a disc. I'd like to get it planted, but I don't know. It might be a little too moist. We'll know. I wanna try to get it leveled out. We got it disced last week before the rain, but so we'll just have to see how it goes. If it starts plugging up, we'll pull off because it's too wet. We had an inch of rain down here, so we'll see what happens. I'd like to plant tomorrow, but no guarantees. As we walk over here last week, we were really disking heavy to chop up that residue. And that's one bad disadvantage about food plots, is you can't disc up your food plots in the fall and harvest them. Boy, the crop of velvet leaf going there, that's good, we'll knock that out, because that's what they're for. So you get stuck. The farmer, he can take and go right in because he's already got his field laid by basically, and all he has to do is plan into it. A little herbicide and he's ready to go. With the food plot, they got to stand all winter. And so then if you have a wet spring or something, you don't get the advantage of working that mellow dirt. But you can see there's a lot of moisture in that dirt, and if the blade starts getting full of dirt, we'll have to haul it off. But I want to level it out because it's too unlevel. And there's some carryover beans right there. That's a little soybean carryover right there. Let's see if we can get it worked up, because I'd like to try to get the corn planted. I don't care so much about the beans, but I definitely like to try to get the corn planted here real shortly. You can only go as fast as Mother Nature will let you. And that's something a lot of you new beginners, just because you got the day off, don't mean you get to work in a food plot. You got to have the right conditions. And unfortunately, some people think they can just go out and do whatever they want to do, and that ain't the way it works. If the dirt's not working, you're not working. So let's get on with it. Basically, I'm going to plant the corn up in this area up here. And the soybeans will be down in here, so I can do those later. But I'd like to get this flat planted with the corn as soon as possible. So we'll take off on the disc, and we got her set straight. We don't want much cut, and it's really soft. Show you a little thing out here that you can learn. I ain't worried about these grasses, I can disc them out. You see those velvet leaf? They're all germinating. That's what you want. You stirred that up. Now we're in here. They started to germinate. You can see them all in there, that green. This is what is good. We're knocking them out without herbicide. We'll disc them out and tear them out of there, and that way we can cut back on costs plus herbicide in the soil. But they got to germinate first, so that's called sterile disking. Europeans use it. I've talked about it before, but that's just what we're doing. We're trying to get ahead of that weed bank, and that's the way to do it. Now you can see over here how choppy that was. As the disc come across, we had that cut up real heavy. Looks like a roller coaster. You can't plant in that either. You gotta have it level. So let's get with it. Well, we got her all disced up. We'll get her seeded tomorrow, corn and soybeans. And the dirt's got the right amount of moisture. It didn't plug up, didn't mud up, didn't do anything. It was just perfect. And so we'll get after it. But just keep in mind, folks, it takes a lot of work and a lot of time that you could be doing something else, like shooting your bow, fishing, so many things you could do. But if you take on this food plot thing, you better have one of those, and you better be willing to spend the money on them, repairs, and those new tires on the back of that. Those were like almost $1,000, right at $500 a piece. So food plotting ain't cheap. It's a hobby, and I tell you what, it's a hard one to keep enthused at if the prices rise. Yeah, we'll put the fertilizer on tomorrow, run the harrow over it, and plant corn and soybeans. Well, here it is. I'm going to try to beat the rain today. First object is to get the fertilizer on. That's #1 goal. And that's expense. There's almost $1,000 there. Yeah. This is pure urea for the corn. Triple 13 for the beans. But yeah, that would equal a lot of good times and a lot of beer, a lot of other entertainment. But I guess that food plotting is supposed to be entertaining. Yeah, when you're putting that urea on, that's pure nitrogen. You don't want to be breathing it, and you don't want it to get in your eyes or your skin. So wear long pants, long shirt. That's your responsibility. You don't need that in your body. It burns like hell. I've had some of it sometime, and you know what I'm talking about. So we'll get to pouring it in here. Now we're going to put the urea on, or we're going to put the corn. And so I got some PowerPlant. So we'll put the urea in the area that we're going to put the corn. Then we'll go with the triple 13. Oh, look at that 50-pound bag right there. That's 98%. 98% urea. Now the reason I go with urea is because I don't go, I got 38-inch corn rows, and that's another good reason. You better put a lot of nitrogen on there. And I can't get the anhydrous truck up here to run the anhydrous. Now if you could run anhydrous, then that'd be a good thing. Unfortunately, I can't get one in here. But make sure you're not breathing this stuff. or getting it in your eye. Each one of these bags is 50 pounds. And I don't like jacking around with it. People ask me, why don't you zip tie it with the bag? Sometimes that works for me, sometimes it don't. The older I get, stuff just don't work. Okay. But you don't want to be getting that stuff on your skin. If it can help it, so wear gloves. And definitely eye goggles and I think we'll go with a maximum of 250 pounds in there. That's a lot of weight. You don't want to overload your spreader. I found that out. You do it, and you'll be paying for it. Okay, trying to get this done before it rains. So there's what that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 empty bags. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 10 bags of it. We're going to run the urea on the boundaries where we're going to plant the corn. Let's get it on. This is where I'm planting the corn, and I'm going to plant a couple bags of PowerPlant just for shits and grins. They do got a food value for summer. Maybe it'll keep the coons and stuff from grazing on the corn. Not much trapping going on anymore, so we're really getting an infestation of coons. So I got to go down and get another load of urea. When you're making these videos, you really gotta hustle. By the way, you can see that urea, that white substance, and we'll harrow that in. I left it it's too hard to pull the harrow behind that, but you can see where your broadcast is. So let's go get the other 5 bag count. Okay, we got the nitrogen on for the corn and the power plant. And now we're going to go up and load up with 1313 for the soybeans. Yeah, we're going to run 2 passes down here where the soybeans are going to be. Then we'll go back and put some 1313 with potash and phosphorus where the corn and power plant's going to be. So let's get cracking. going to go over with this triple 13. Now, as you noticed on that urea bag was 98% urea. Well, this is going to carry your phosphorus and your potassium. And the reason I went with that strong of urea is because when you plant that corn, this hadn't had any anhydrous on it ever since I've owned it. So you really got to put it on strong. So we're going to run over and start putting the triple 13, as they call it, or ever what you want to call it. But you got to have some phosphorus and potassium, and your soil report will tell you that. So that's how you gauge that. And I don't have mine with me, but I know that's what it called for. But that on the onset with an urea, that was like anhydrous in my way of doing it. So let's get spreading triple 13 off. We'll harrow it. I've got the fertilizer down in the ground, and that way the rains will be where we want it. So that's what we're going to do, is trying to, there's no repetitiveness dragging that harrow across here. So and like I said, now you can't see the fertilizer. Now I'll get over here where it's white at, right in front of the harrow. See the fertilizer? When the harrow goes over, fertilizer is covered up. That's what you want. I tell you what, you work as hard as your job as you do a fruit crop, you get a raise. But just keep in mind, no shackles. I'm doing this out of my pocket. I don't ask anything from anybody on, you know, the seed or the gas, fuel, fertilizer, whatever. But, so I'm going to get at it because I want to get this planted today. Well, it's time to get the corn planted. We're going with layer and cob. Had good luck with it in the past. Got 100 pounds. That's how much seed we got in for a hopper. Pretty much level. I'd say it's pretty close. About 25 pounds a hopper. So, like I said, I want more beans than corn. Is this necessary to kill a deer? Hell no. There's the corn I just dug out with my knife. There was some, and there's another roll, another piece in the other roll, and every row I come up with a piece of corn. So I should have been filming it, but I didn't. But just putting corn in. There's another piece of corn I dug out. Get that back in there. All four rows. They're putting corn in there. So we're gonna go down, so back around. Yeah, where I got that orange flag at, I'm going to have a ridge of power plant across there. So that's for, we'll do it that way. Okay, soybean time. These beans don't have any inoculant coating on it, and Vominous at the co-op said if you've had beans planted on your properties before, you don't need that coating because it's already corrected the soil. So we'll get on with it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to double roll this, so it'll take some time. But I got a plan. I'm going to spray paint the lines, and we're going to, like I say, these rows will be 38 inches apart, and we're going to make them 19 inches apart. I'll just spray the marker line of oil so I can go down the middle of the row. Now the flag goes 20 inches, so we should be planting in the middle of the row. Anyhow, that's my plan. Well, we'll have to see how that come out. There's more beans in the ground. Go get the power plant, put it on, rake it in, or harrow it in. Let's hit this ridge cover. Tall ridge for cover. Power plant. That's what I'm going to try to use in there. summer, that's 3/4 of an acre to an acre. It's pretty good stuff. Got soybeans, sunflowers in it. And we'll get to cranking it on that area that I told you we were going to crank it on. Get that power plant power again. Yeah, not much power on that end. Well, that'll put a wrap on it. Just remember, food plots are a mean hobby. And it's going to take all you got and then some, then do it. So don't think it's a walk in the park. Because believe you me, I got the power, the money, but I tell you what, it's a fight from the beginning to the end. Well, that's it for the non-typical. That's really a good picture of the sun showing that corn standing up. We planted a lot of corn in there, and here it is, Friday, Memorial Day weekend, and we got corn. We'll just take a quick shot of that. Yeah, that corn is right at 2 inches tall, but here's this competition. We'll kick it out. But you look down through there, there's a lot of rows of corn in there, and they're right at, like I said, as we get over here, I believe this is the 26th day of May. Yep, that's 2 inches tall in right at a week. And as you can see, the planter worked pretty well on that corn. You can see a lot of green rows. And that happened in a week. It all came out pretty good. Pretty much weed free. Yeah, there was moisture down in there. Now, like I said, if I would have broadcasted those beans on top without planting them, they would have laid in that dry dirt and they wouldn't have germinated. But all this corn up here has germinated. It's unbelievable. Now where the power plant, it's not to be yet, but that's nothing uncommon. It'll come around. Hey, because we put the power plant in here, and we'll have to watch that. But boy, sure did happen fast, and we've been cool and dry, exceptionally dry. We need, if we get some moisture now, that stuff ought to take off. But I just wanted to share that with you. And like I said, the beans came in, and you can see them right there. Yeah, right there, and the soybeans, and they emerged. And some places I got that, like right there was what I was working for. You see that? But I don't know. This was perfect. This was exactly what I was working for, and I didn't get it throughout the field. See these beans right here, well, that's what we were shooting for right there, is 20 inches apart. Basically it was 38, 48 inch row, 4-row planter, and we got that down through here pretty good. Some got a little tight, but that was going down the middle of the roads, and that worked out perfect. 20 inches on the money from that row to this row. Not all of them come out 20 inch, but enough. It was my experiment. So I have some here that was planting seed on seed, so that's almost like drilling it, but that's all right. But for the majority of it, it came out the way I wanted to by splitting those 40, they call them 38, but they're basically about 40-inch rows. So if you split them to 20, you come out. We get some rain in the forecast, not torrential rain. I got a bag or a bag and a half of beans that I can come out and broadcast them on around certain places, and it's still not too late. And you know, if the rain comes immediately after you get them on with this loose dirt, they'll germinate also. But in a week, we got what we was working for. So that's it. Have a good Memorial Day, and thank all you veterans for your service.